James Sunderland.
Mrs Favag, it's a real pleasure to serve before you as Chair, and my apologies for being chronologically challenged. My contention today is that there is a real policy inconsistency between the success of our vaccination programme and the ongoing caution in our travel sector. So I'm going to make 3 key points, if I may. The first thing, I would urge the need for countries to open up and to send people here who are successful in their own vaccination rollouts, and that for travel purposes, a negative test result and or COVID passport should be enough for travel to be fully resumed. My second point is that there is a need for clarity, something akin to the UK roadmap of why each country is on which list and when they're likely to be moved accordingly. And thirdly, as I said earlier, is that we need to support those who are employed by the travel business sector. And UK airlines, as we know, have announced over 30,000 job cuts so far. This is devastating, and I suspect that more support is still needed for that very important sector, along with hospitality and leisure. To start with, the government should be commended for the success of our vaccination rollout programme, which is one of the best vaccination programmes in the world. And to put it in statistic terms, 37 million first doses as of yesterday and 22 million second doses, over 60 million, as my friend from London said. This is the best vaccination programme from any country with a population of more than 20 million people, with 89% of all adults having received 1 or 2 doses of the vaccination. So we need to move as soon as possible to reconnect friends and family across the world who have been unable to spend time together throughout the pandemic. So the speed at which we open up our travel sector is paramount, and we need to prioritise business travel destinations where their national vaccination programmes have proven successful, such as the United States, which will lift the burden on our travel sector to a certain degree, and one or others to be added at this point in time to the green list too. And the reasons for travel are multifarious, as we've heard. It's about leisure, it's about family, it's about business, emergency travel, and of course holidays. And why not? 76% of people in the UK are deemed to have plans to fly abroad in the next 12 months. In 2019, over 21 million trips were made by air for the purpose of visiting friends and family overseas. And also the Business Travel Association, whose member travel management companies account for over 90% of all travel booked in the UK. Their figures equate to 6.4 million journeys and 32 million transactions, resulting in £220 billion of UK GDP in a typical year. And that's just by air. So these figures are eye-watering, and our economy depends upon it. Yeah. But the resumption of business travel can only begin in earnest once the green list is updated. And as I mentioned earlier, and I'll say again, it needs to also include major business hubs such as New York, Singapore, Frankfurt, Dubai, and that's just the start. And what about Bracknell? Well, my constituency is very important to me. I've got 15 travel agency businesses who employ people in Bracknell. My constituents work at Heathrow and Gatwick and beyond. We've got hundreds of jobs in the travel and tour operators sector in Bracknell, and there are literally thousands who want and need to get away. And that's not next month, that's now. So we need to comprehensively open up as quickly as possible. And of course, our country is global. It's an international diaspora. It depends upon global trade and global movement, and it's movement which remains essential to getting our economy up and running once again. So to conclude, if I may, it is now time to get back to normal. Yes, new variants such as the Indian mutation are worrying, but mankind has lived under the spectre of new viruses for centuries and has thankfully mitigated this one with our fantastic vaccination programme. So it's now time to open up safely, and life as we know it has to go on. Thank you.